Hello and welcome to episode 405 of the Daily Sales Message Podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple, actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff too. Now, in today's episode, we're talking about size matters. Sorry, I had to make that. Everybody makes that joke, don't they? Size matters. But it really does. And for me, I'm talking about readability. So the size of the fonts that you're using, whether it is on signage, whether it's on your business cards, whether it's even on your website, the size of the font that you're using, the size of the text that you're using makes a big difference. And coupled with that, the density of the text, because there's this real kind of inclination that when you have a smaller font and the text is smaller, some people are going, oh, look, I can get more words in here. This is great. We'll put even more words into the space. And for me, at least, and I've got a very high bar, but a very qualified bar at this point, I hope you'd agree. I've had hundreds and hundreds of clients. I lecture on this stuff at universities. For me, fewer words is the way to go. When I present, my slides will have, it's a black background with white text. I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words tops. I never really have more than that. Lots of white space, or in my case, a black space. But white space is important. Size is important, particularly in signage. So outdoor signage. I don't know if you've ever seen a van drive past you, and there's just so much on there. You couldn't possibly read it. Or you're driving along the motorway, and you see something, and there's so much on there. The font's so small, you just can't read it. And there could be these basic mechanical failures in communication where you've made the font too small, you just put too much text in there. I physically cannot read it in time. I physically cannot do it. So, yes, this is a slight telling off episode. Sorry about that. But please be aware of the size of the font that you're using. Make sure it is reasonable for the application where it is. And you want white space, or in my case, black space. You don't want, well, we've got a small font. We'll get lots more words in there. More words are not better. Fewer words are better. We need to shrink things down to get our point across. Just remember these two kind of mantras that I have. Syllables are expensive. So the more syllables you use, the more likely somebody's not going to stick around to listen or to understand what you're saying. And explanations are expensive. If you have to explain something, substantiate it, talk about it more, that can be a barrier too. Syllables are expensive. Explanations are expensive. Keep your text of a reasonable size. Keep lots of white space. And that's it for today's telling off edition of the podcast. Right, tomorrow in episode 406, we're talking about a really, really old phrase. Very simple, very important. It doesn't just apply to sales and selling. It applies to life too. It's one of those things where it's simple and easy to understand, but it's a lot harder to implement. But it should really be, if you're a professional person, should really be a way of life for you. But we'll cover that in tomorrow's episode. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please hop on over to LinkedIn, connect with me there, shoot me a DM, let me know what you like about the podcast, what you don't like about the podcast. If you want me to cover something in the future, it's always really great to hear from people around the world. The podcast goes to so many different countries on a daily basis. It's just it astonishes me every time I look at my stats in Spotify podcasters. Where it goes, it's incredible. So please connect with me, shoot me a DM, let me know what you like about the podcast. Thank you for listening and watching all the way to the end. I appreciate it. I'll catch you tomorrow for another exciting edition of the Daily Sales Message.